Hi, I'm Anna Brewster and welcome to Art Club for December. We are going to be making some festive decorations, some crowns today, using whatever we've got lying about the house. You just need some card or some paper, any colouring equipment you've got, and let's get going. So this project really couldn't be easier, and I think frankly that's what we all need at this time of year. I've got a big piece of paper here. It's quite thick paper, so if you've got card at home that would work. You could even stick a couple of sheets together if you needed to, but you want something that's going to take a little bit of colour, and whether you colour on both sides is kind of up to you. I'm just going to do this side for now. I've been given a bag of gouache paint. If you're not familiar with gouache, it's like watercolour with chalk in. So I've got that, and I'm going to use these as my this is what I've happened to have about. I'm going to be using these to actually do the painting on this. I don't know how good any of them are. We might find that some of them are in fact very not good. They go, they're quite opaque paint, so if you haven't encountered gouache before, it's quite handy because it will go over the top of other colours. In that respect, I suppose it's a little bit like an oil paint or something like that. Now what we're going to have some nice regal colours. It dries like watercolour. If you re-wet it, it comes off. What else can I say about it? When you're picking your colours for this, I strongly suggest you go for whatever floats your boat. Just go nuts. Just enjoy the colours. I'm thinking sort of lovely Christmassy colours at the moment. I'm not sure if that one's absolutely stiff as a board. Can't get into that one. How about that one? That one looks like it might work. Oh yes, there we go. So I've got green. I've got a few yellows. And a red. I could go for a red. A crimson. There we are. So I've got a pile of colours. Now, just for anyone who is interested in gouache, you don't need to water it down nearly as much as watercolour. I often use it as a top layer when I'm painting over watercolour, and you put it on a little bit thicker. Think like double cream type consistency. I need a little cloth. Let's just get a cloth to hand. There's always something, isn't there? I always start the video and then remember that I'm missing something. I'm sure if I was better at editing, there wouldn't be random pauses. And then what we're going to do, and if you've got a rectangle instead of a square, it really doesn't matter. You just want something. You can see how big this is. It's about this size if you see my hands. And we're just going to cover it in some paint. So I'm going to start with the lighter colours. And I'm just going to make a great big mess. I'm going to use lots of lovely paint. And the weird thing about gouache is it dries a little bit darker than you think it's going to, which is the exact opposite of watercolour. Don't ask me how this works. I have absolutely no idea. But it does. I'm just going to get loads of lovely colour on this. And really what you do with it is entirely up to you. So I'm doing sort of big panels of colour like this. You can see I've hardly got any water on this brush. It doesn't matter. It's fine with that. But you could equally you could do dots, you could do stripes, you could do whatever you like. Right, a little bit of red. Oh, that's a nice red. I don't think these were madly expensive paints, but they're quite good colours actually. The plus point of working in an art studio is that people occasionally rock up and say, I've got these paints that I don't use anymore. Would you like them? And sometimes the answer is, oh God, no, they're awful or they're full of horrible chemicals. But sometimes they are things like this, which is quite useful. I'm just allowing those colours to mingle and blend because that's what I feel like doing today. This is going to be the quickest art club project ever. Do I want the purple? yeah, why not? Let's put a little bit of purple on. The downside of me slopping all this paint on is it's going to take a little while to dry, so I'll have to bang it on a radiator and have my coffee while that's happening. When we cut it out, just in case you want to think about that in advance, because I know some people like to plan, and I don't blame you, we're going to be cutting it in a zigzag across the middle here. So the tops of your crown will be here, and these two bits here will be the base of the crown. So if you're thinking about maybe going from dark to light, so you could start with, for example, if you want to do like an ice crown, start with a dark blue working up to a pale in the middle, something like that. I've just gone completely like chuck it all on because I was feeling in that sort of mood. And what I might do is put a little bit of... Now, this is what happens when you work in a studio with other people, is they leave random bits of gold leaf about. So I'm going to stick this on with the gouache and see what happens. It may not stick at all. I've got no idea. Normally gold leaf comes on a thing that you actually sort of peel off. This obviously has already peeled off. I did find it in the bin. This is not real gold, just in case you were thinking, what on earth is she doing? The pretend gold leaf is actually reasonably priced, but I don't have any, so it'd be interesting to see if it does stick to the gouache. It may not, in which case this is going to look like a disaster. But, you know, art club's all about experimenting, having a bit of fun, and frankly, I'm a bit of a magpie, so show me a bin full of gold bits, and I go and fish them all out. Okay, well, it seems to be sticking. It's an incredibly thin layer, so gold leaf is quite an interesting thing. It's real, the real stuff is real gold, and they just hammer it out really, 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 roll it out really, really fine. And you sneeze and the whole lot blows away. Is it gonna stick? Sticking to me, that's for sure. I think you may be meant to put it on with a brush. Shall we try that? This is entertaining, isn't it? Oh yeah, that works better. Right. Okay, we'll put some more on down there. I'm only putting it where I can see the paint is still quite wet, because I know it's not going to stick at all to the other bits. Think of it as recycling. Just pat down the edges on these bits. I strongly suspect when the gouache dries, this is just going to pop clean off, but you know what? Some of it might stay, or I could give it a little blast with something just to spray it. Let's put a bit on there. Well, this is cheering my morning up. It's another rainy day here in Collerton. The river is rising rapidly, as it always is when I'm trying to do this. I don't know why. It's like the days I try and sort out art club videos, it always rains. There we go. I'm only putting it on the wet bits, remember, which is why it's a bit kind of... Oh, it's stuck on my finger. Got gold leaf finger. I'm sure there's a song about gold leaf. No, gold finger. There we go. That's good, doesn't it? Right, that looks quite random, but that's okay. I'm going to bang this on a radiator for a little bit once I finish flattening out all the sparkly bits. And then, do you want to put anything else on? Might just put a little bit of pen on over the top, but I'm not going to do that now because I know I've got a lot of things happening on here and it needs to dry. So let's go and get that on a radiator, have a cup of tea, and I will come back in a minute. Okie dokie, so we've got some dry gold leaf. Still not quite sure how well that's going to stick on, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some more stuff on it, because why not? I think the more the merrier at this time of year. I have got some Poscas here, and I know not everybody has Poscas in their cupboard, but to be quite honest, you could do this with felt tips, you could do it with crayons, you could do it with poster paint, you could do it with anything you've got lying about. And that's really the important thing about this for me, is it's not something you can only do if you've got this. You pick up whatever is to hand and use that, which is kind of what I've done here. I don't have a nice warm yellow pen, but that doesn't matter. I don't really have a very good red one either, so I'll just ignore those colours. I thought I had a gold. Oh, I do have a gold one. Ooh, that could be swish. So all I'm going to do with this, is this a good colour? Let's find out. Oh, why not? I'm just going to put some marks on over the top. So Poscas, if you haven't come across them, are acrylic markers. And acrylic markers are quite handy because you can draw over the top of almost anything with them. I actually draw on my windows of the studio for doing window displays. Okay, so I'm going to put that one on there. You might think, oh God, this looks like a bit of a jumble sale. But that's fine, because what's going to happen is when we cut these out, it's amazing how the thing just takes shape all of its own. Okay, where shall I go? Shall I have a bit more? No, I might put some more on in a minute, but let's get some purple going on here. You could get busy with the collage. You could stick on bits of wrapping paper. You've got scraps lying about. You could use last year's Christmas cards. You could... There really is no limit, as with a lot of the art club projects. Your imagination here is the most important thing. If you can imagine it, then just give it a go. I think we don't experiment enough, particularly as adults. We get really, really set in our ways, and we stop saying, well, what happens if I do this? And actually, saying that is the most powerful driver of pushing your art forwards and doing more things and being unafraid that there can be. This is actually quite therapeutic. I'm quite enjoying this. And you can see, this is based on the principle that if you do anything enough times, it will probably look arty. Don't tell anyone I said that. That's a top secret art thing. Right. And gold. Can you go wrong with gold? No. Absolutely not. You know, I'm enjoying the gold so much, I'm going to put a load more on. So let's have some twiddly patterns going around here. This will help if the gold leaf all falls off, which it might well. Then this gold will still be there. It's starting to look pretty funky, isn't it? Let's put a bit more on, and then what we'll do is I'll show you how to cut it. This really is the easiest project. So for a grotty day, when you're all stuck inside, you've done all the jigsaws. I do love a Christmas jigsaw, I have to say. But yeah, when you've done all the jigsaws, or driven yourself mad looking for the tiny pieces that aren't there, because you've lost them under the sofa, yeah, this is what you can do. Oh my, there's a lot of gold on this now. Yeah, right. So here's my slightly crackers thing. You can see it's really shining in the light. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to grab a pair of scissors and then we'll start chopping. Okay, so I've got a big pair of scissors here. Obviously, if you're a small child watching this, then mind your fingers. If you're a grown-up watching this, then mind your fingers. I'm going to flip this over, which will make it a little bit easier for me to show you what I'm going to chop. And I'm going to use this lovely purple pen to draw it on. So I'm going to chop off that bit because I don't need it. And then I'm going to chop really big. You see how big these are? This will determine what your crown looks like. So I want really tall spikes on my crown. It's going to look a bit kind of Hall of the Mountain King type. A little bit silly, but you know, I might modify that a little bit. That might be a bit too much. It's up to you. And we just, yeah, maybe a little bit too much. I'll tone it down a bit. There we go. Doesn't matter if it doesn't quite meet up either, that's fine. Doesn't matter if all the spikes are different sizes, that's also fine. Actually, that can look quite fun if all the spikes are different sizes, so don't get your knickers in a twist about that, basically. The fun point about doing it on the back is you can't see what you're doing, so you're not making sort of conscious decisions to have crowns of certain sizes, or oh, I want to include that bit on there, or whatever you're going to do. It's quite nice to, oh, I can see the gold leaf is coming off. Might have to spray it with something, or it might just be that bit because I chopped right through it. Let's have a look in a moment. Nearly there. You might notice that I am, you probably haven't noticed, but I am left-handed. I use scissors right-handed, I know, weirdo. Bop. Okay, hey, there we go. So here's my 2 crowns. Now, there are 2 ways you can do this. You can stick them like that, and they will stick really well. Or if you wish to post them to a friend, which is quite fun, what you can do is you can make little hooks for them. And then let me just get this right, because this is the bit I always have trouble with. So I need to mark them up. I think I can probably do this in reverse. There's bits dropping off left, right and centre, as is traditional at this point. So if I hook, I have to visualise this in my head. So I'm going to be slotting that in like that. Let's cut this bit first. It's a good job. You can't see that when I'm focusing on the stuff like this, I stick my tongue out the corner of my mouth. And then that bit is going to have to slot in there. So I need to, oh my God, my brain's just gone completely blank. This is what happens at this time of year. Right, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to demo this on a piece of blank card so it's easier to see. So I've got a little bit of blank card here. So what you're doing, imagining that is kind of that, you're drawing one little L shape there. Oh, crikey, that was exciting. It's a good job I did that on a piece of card, wasn't it? Right, you're drawing one little L shape there. And what you're doing, you need to kind of wrap this round. Oh, look, art. There we go, art. Wrap it round, and where you get to the other side, like that, that is where your next little L starts. So if you imagine there's a line across there, you're doing one L there and one L there. Almost like a little snake shape. I will draw that again on something, because clearly that is completely covered in paint now. So you're doing one there. Oh my God, this pen is so excitable this morning. And the other one will be there. I'm not going to use that. Clearly I'm not going to use that because it's covered in paint. So I've drawn one here. So my other one is going to need to be down here. So let's turn this round inside out. I hardly dare do this with this because I can see already how this is going to end up. So I need to do it quite near the bottom, like that. Oh, perilously dribbly pen. Right, I've already cut that one. I'm going to cut, it's going everywhere. And then what you can do is when your recipient receives their thing, you can put it together like that and it will stand up. Ta-da! There's your little crown. Looking pretty funky. Might put it in the other way round. Actually, it doesn't really matter which way round you put this. Let's just do it that way round. It'll look better. She says, having failed to get it in one way, I can't do it the other way round either. And there's purple pen everywhere. And yes, okay, good. Did think about making like a blooper reel for these things, but to be quite honest, I think I am a blooper reel all on my own. There, that's nice. So I'll do the other one as well, just in case you need a round 2 for this. So we get the crown, we'll put it round here, and we're looking at marking on 2 sides of a little box, so we're going to mark on like that, and then we're going to mark on the other side like that, and then when I make those cuts I will know that the whole thing will slot together. There are probably other better ways of slotting it together. This happens to be the way I know to do it, but if you can think of a better way, or just supply them with a piece of sellotape, that would work too. So we will now put that through there. Go on. Go on. Oh, I've got the bit with the gold leaf on. Never mind. We'll try to see if we can get the gold leaf to come out on the top, shall we? Oh, this is a right fiddle. Whose idea was this? Well, I'll be completely honest, it wasn't my idea. I've seen numerous versions of this on the internet. I'd be lying if I said I hadn't. There we go. But only mine looks quite like that. And I'm very interested to know what yours are going to look like, because they are really fun. You could use them as a table decoration for the centre of your Christmas table. You can, as I say, you can send them as a card. The only thing you absolutely cannot do with them, and I don't even think I should need to say this really, because you're all quite sensible, don't put a tea light in them. You can put one of those pretend tea lights in, but anything involving flames is a really bad idea. And I'm only saying that so you don't all sue me. And there we go, some Christmas crowns. Okay, that's about it for this month. I hope you've had fun. If you make any, I'd love to see them. I'm at Anna Brewster Art on most social media, and I hope you have a very happy festive season. See you next year. Bye.